This was the worst night of my life. It happened a few years ago. My friend Marcus and I were on a long trip. We were driving from Colorado to Washington. We had been on the road for many hours. We were tired. We wanted to get home fast. Marcus looked at the map. He saw a small road in Wyoming. He said it was a shortcut. He thought it would save us time. I said, okay. That was my first mistake. It was 2 a.m. In rural Wyoming, there are no streetlights. There are no houses. There are only bushes and dirt. The sky was very black. Suddenly, the GPS on my phone stopped working. The screen just spun in circles. We were lost in the middle of nowhere. It's okay, Marcus said. We just stay on this road. But he sounded nervous. We drove for a long time. Then, our headlights hit something. It was an old pickup truck. It was parked on the side of the road. It looked rusted and broken. But there was a man in the back of the truck. He was standing up. He was not moving. He was looking straight up at the moon. We drove past him at 60 miles per hour. He did not turn his head. He did not blink. He just stared at the sky. That guy is weird, Marcus joked. But I saw his hands. He was gripping the steering wheel very tight. His knuckles were white. We kept driving. 10 minutes passed. The road was straight. We did not turn. But then, I saw something familiar. Up ahead, there was a rusted pickup truck. It was the same truck. It was in the same spot. The same man was standing in the back. He was still looking at the moon. My heart started to beat very fast. Marcus? I whispered. Is that the same guy? Marcus didn't answer. He just drove faster. We thought it was a coincidence. Maybe two people had the same old truck? Maybe they both liked the moon? We tried to be brave. We kept going. Then, we saw it a third time. But this time, it was different. The truck was not on the side of the road. The man was not in the back. The man was standing in the middle of our lane. Marcus slammed on the brakes. The tires made a loud screaming sound. We stopped about 50 feet away from him. Our bright lights were shining right on him. It was summer, and it was warm. But the man was wearing a heavy flannel shirt and thick pants. He wasn't looking at the moon anymore. He was looking at us. He started to shake. It wasn't a normal shiver. His whole body was vibrating. He was moving so fast he looked blurry. He looked angry. He looked like he was about to explode with energy. Go back! I yelled. Marcus, go back now. Marcus did not wait. He put the car in reverse. He turned the car around in a fast circle. He pushed the gas pedal to the floor. We were going 90 miles per hour. We just wanted to get away from that man. I looked in the side mirror. My stomach dropped. 2 headlights were right behind us. It was the rusted truck. It was moving so fast, but I realized something terrifying. I couldn't hear it. I could hear our engine roaring. I could hear the wind, but the truck behind us was silent. It was like a ghost. The truck pulled up next to us. It was right beside my window. I looked over. I wanted to see who was driving, but the windows were black. I couldn't see anything inside. Suddenly, the truck swerved toward us. It was trying to hit us. It wanted to push us off the road. There was a deep canyon on my side. If we fell, we would die. He's going to hit us! I screamed. Marcus was smart. He hit the brakes hard. Our car slowed down fast. The rusted truck flew past us. It was going way too fast to turn. Ahead of us, there was a giant wall of solid rock. He's going to crash, I thought. But he didn't crash. The truck hit the rock and didn't stop. It didn't make a sound. It didn't break. It just went into the rock. It was like the rock was made of water. The truck vanished. It was gone. We did not stop driving. We drove until we found a gas station with bright lights. We went inside. We stayed there until the sun came up. We felt safe near other people. The next morning, we saw a police officer. We told him what happened. We told him about the truck and the man who passed through the rock. I thought he would laugh at us. I thought he would say we were tired and dreaming. He did not laugh. He looked very serious. "Where did this happen?" the sheriff asked. "On the back road," I said. "Route 41. The sheriff sighed. He looked tired. He asked us one question. "Did the man look at the moon, or did he look at you?" I felt a chill go down my back. "He looked at us," I said. "He looked right at us." The sheriff shook his head. "Then stay off that road," he said. "That man has a job to do. He watches the sky. He doesn't like it when people interrupt him." We didn't ask any more questions. We got back on the main highway and never went back to Wyoming. Now, whenever I drive at night, I never look at the moon. And I never, ever take a shortcut. I was driving home for winter break. It was a long trip. I had to drive for 10 hours. I was in the middle of the country. There were no big cities. There were only fields of corn. It was very dark and very quiet. I wanted to get home fast. I was tired. My GPS told me to take a shortcut. It said I could save time if I left the big highway. I followed the map. I turned onto a small road. This road only had 2 lanes. It was very narrow. I drove for 30 minutes. I started to feel afraid. I had not seen another car for a long time. There were no houses. There were no streetlights. The only light came from my car. My high beams hit the tall corn on both sides of the road. Every few miles, I saw a sign for deer. That was all. It felt like I was the only person left in the world. Then, I saw something in the middle of the road. I hit my brakes hard. My tires made a loud noise on the pavement. I stopped just in time. I looked through my windshield. There was a wooden kitchen chair. It was sitting perfectly straight. It was right in the center of my lane. "That is weird," I said to myself. I thought maybe it fell off a truck. Or maybe some kids were playing a mean joke. I drove around the chair and kept going. I did not look back. 10 minutes passed. I was starting to relax. Then, my heart jumped into my throat. I saw it again. Up ahead, in the middle of the road, was the same wooden chair. It was sitting in the exact same spot in the lane. My hands started to shake on the steering wheel. How was this possible? I had just passed that chair miles ago. I told myself I was just tired. Maybe there were 2 chairs. Maybe a furniture truck had a big hole in the back? I did not stop this time. I swerved around it quickly. I pushed my foot down on the gas pedal. I was going 80 miles per hour. The speed limit was 45. But I did not care. I wanted to get away from that chair. 5 minutes later, my lights hit something white and brown. It was the chair. Again. But this time, it was different. Something was sitting on the chair. It was a large, black garbage bag. It was heavy. I could see the shape of something lumpy inside. The bag was held onto the chair with thick silver duct tape. I felt a cold chill run down my back. This was not a joke. This was a trap. I did not slow down. I steered my car onto the dirt on the side of the road to get past it. As I drove by, I heard a loud noise. Thud. Something hit my passenger door. It sounded wet and heavy. I looked in my mirror. My heart stopped. A man was standing next to the chair. He was very tall and very thin. He was wearing a bright yellow raincoat. His skin was so pale it looked white, like bone. He did not move. He did not wave for help. He just stood there in the dark, watching my car drive away. He looked like a ghost, but the sound on my door was very real. Suddenly, my GPS made a loud beep. The screen went black. I was alone in the dark. Then, the screen flickered. It turned bright red. A voice spoke from the speakers. It was not the normal lady's voice. It was deep and scratchy. It said, "Make a U-turn." I screamed, "No!" I yelled at the car. I would not go back. I would not go back to the man in the yellow coat. I kept my foot on the gas. I drove as fast as the car would go. I felt like the road was stretching. It felt like the corn was closing in on me. I drove for 2 more hours. I did not look in the mirrors anymore. I was afraid of what I might see sitting in my back seat. Finally, I saw a light. It was a gas station. It was old and dirty, but it was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. I pulled in and stopped the car. I was shaking so hard I could barely move. My gas tank was almost empty. I had to get out to pump the gas. I stepped out into the cold air. I walked around to the passenger side of the car. I remembered the thud. I wanted to see what had hit me. I found it. There was a handprint on the white paint of my door. It was made of thick, dark blood, but it was not a normal handprint. The palm was small, but the fingers were very, very long. They were longer than a human's fingers. They reached from the middle of the door all the way to the window. I didn't finish pumping gas. I got back in my car and drove until I reached the big highway. I never took a shortcut again, and I never, ever drive at night when it is near the cornfields.